darkest of clouds, we can have the brightest of the morning. A beautiful morning right here on the hilltop of Ikejile, Ijesha State is vicinity 95.3 FM. We have the cloudy skies, but go out there and shine today. I am OLUWAFUNKE Israel, and it's another moment with you right here on Newspaper Review, where we'll bring you all the trending stories on our dailies. Do well to join the conversation this morning on our Facebook and YouTube at Vicinity 95.3 FM. How are you doing? Well, the holidays are behind us. Yesterday, we all returned back to work after all of the, you know, Salah celebrations. Well, life continues. Today is the 11th day in the month of June. June is gradually slipping away. I hope we get to do amazing things today. Yeah. Before me is the Guardian, Nigerian Tribune, the Punch newspaper, Daily Trust, Daily Independent, and the Vanguard. I will begin with the Guardian newspaper. On the front page, here are the top stories. Days of electoral impunity over. Obi declares. I guess Obi is not having it easy these days. He's been really pouring out his heart. Senate to change presidential inauguration venue. Mandate June 12 address. 150,000 cases of babies born with sickle cell disease yearly in Nigeria. Less than 30% of public schools have computer labs. ICT savvy pupils. Well, we can't lie about that. Schools don't even have, computer utilities where students can even learn how to use the computer. If they do, somehow one out, some not enough. Ignore busybodies by standards. Tinubu tells Wike at reopening of center. Yeah, president is back from all of the Salah celebration. He returned yesterday, to commission the rehabilitated ICC center in Abuja. And the president said it's not for free. If you are high and low, you are going to pay for it. June 12, Lamido urges Tinubu to immortalize Humphrey. He wants to Knox trial Wike stakeholders meeting as PDP crisis deepens. PDP. Plateau, 58 killed, 31 injured, 15,000 displaced in 6 weeks. A sabron there. World Bank bullish on Nigerian economy, marks up growth forecast to 3.6. Power outage plunges Adamawa, Borno, Taraba, Yobe in darkness. The top stories on The Guardian. Me to the Daily Nigerian in Tribune. SEC orders public companies to release old dividends. ASU declares no pay, no work. Any month salary is delayed. Wike renames ICC after Tinubu. Don't pay attention to busybodies. President tells FCT minister. Says usage of facility not free. That's the top stories on the Nigerian Tribune. And with President Tinubu commissioning of Maitama Kishiri Bridge, Kantakpe Jahi, Mabushi Link roads today. So this also on Nigerian Tribune. Now I move to the Punch newspaper. Saudi's Araman delays Nigeria's crude bunker flights loan. I'm sure I got that. FG budgets cut leaves 1,500 workers without pay. Power play, PDP convention, caught in Wike Makinde camps crossfire. And the commissioning of Maitama Gishiri Bridge, Kentepe, Gahi, Nabuchi Link road today. Well, it's been this well, today is the 11th. Yeah, tomorrow we will be celebrating a democracy day, and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, yes, on week said they will be commissioning until the day of democracy and even beyond, because there are some projects in the Federal Capital Territory that has been earmarked for that the minister had worked on some of these projects and is ready for inauguration. And today they get to inaugurate the Metama Gishiri Bridge, Kintape Gahi Mobichi Link roads today. And while we are focusing on road infrastructure, there are also some things in the FCT that we can do. Gwagwalada, remember there's this community, Gwagwalada community, residents there are saying we don't have schools for our children. They have to travel to other communities to go to school, and there is hike in transportation. Our children are exposed every day to long trips and even attacks, especially attacks on our girls. So we should pay attention to other infrastructural developments in the Federal Capital Territory. Well, we would say WIKE is really, changing the face of the Federal Capital Territory. Not every time we get to give our government, our leaders knocks when we see some things they're doing. Of course, it is the responsibility, but they're doing it anyways. If they don't, that's why we keep crying. And now that we see a little, work that they do, let's appreciate it. Moving to Daily Trust. Why INEC is yet to conduct by-elections into 7 seats at National Assembly. Northeast to experience 4-day blackout. Gunmen kill 4 in fresh attack in Benue. June 12, protest against hardship insecurity to hold in 20 states. Organizers against the Take It Back movement are not really taking back this protest. They are going ahead with it tomorrow. And the protest is tomorrow, June 12, as we mark our democracy day, 26 years of unbroken democracy. 96 houses burnt down in Plateau community. ICC commissioned renamed after Tinubu. Again, truck drivers killed in Imo. This story is on Daily Trust. Now to Daily Independent. Nigeria's $5 billion oil-backed loan from Aramco at risk over oil price drop. Tinubu reaffirms commitment to revitalize Nigeria's infrastructure. And PDP leaders mock WIKE orders for affirming Ayamu as scribe. Says WIKE surrounded by expired feeding bottle politicians. Nigerians are refugees even when country not at war. Obi laments, says we will count those who don't want 2027 election to count. Fubara won't be forgiven even if he joins APC. Party chairman. NAS to initiate bill to swear in president-elect in legislative chamber. 25 years after closure, NDIC begins liquidation dividends payment to premier commercial bank creditors. Nations must charter pathway to inclusive, productive workforce. Top stories on Daily Independent. This brings me to the Vanguard newspaper. 2027, PDP leaders divided over WIKE's proposition for Southern presidency. Party risk becoming a carcass. Fire share. We will respond appropriately, PDP. Don't listen to busybodies, bystanders. Tinubu cancel WIKE FG's plan, fresh 56 billion naira oil-backed loan, hampered by low price. And President Tinubu to commission Maitama, Gishiri Beach, Kentucky, Gahi, Mabuchi Link roads today in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The top stories on the Vanguard newspaper. In a bit, we'll bring you details of this headlines. Don't go anywhere. a power review on the Darling station, vicinity 95.3 FM. To let us know you can join the conversation this morning on our Facebook and YouTube at vicinity 95.3 FM. Leave a comment there, like and share on. Let us know your views on some of the stories this morning. And now to Daily Trust. Back on Daily Trust, Wike renames International Conference Center after President Bola Tinubu. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and some Wikis renames the Abuja International Conference Center, AICC, after President Bola Tinubu. Speaking at the commissioning of the structure by the President on Tuesday in Abuja, Wike described Bola Ahmed Tinubu's International Conference Center as a world-class structure requiring constant maintenance. He added that anybody using the premises must be made to pay irrespective of their status in this society. The center, initially constructed in 1991 during the military regime of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, had suffered years of neglect and underutilization despite its prime status as a national conference facility. So let's give it up for the military. Why we'll always celebrate welcome democracy. Democracy is a way to go for us in the country. For some of this project, you see some of the infrastructure in our country today, they tell you it was, built, the infrastructure came up during the time of the military and they're still standing fine. Now, my point is this: why I would not want us to go back to military rule. Let's give it up for some of the projects and infrastructural developments in the country that were done during the days of the military, because they still stand the test of time. Now let's compare it to the present moment where we see because of selfish gains on some people who are in charge of these projects, they get to give us something substandard. And in 2-3 years, you hear something has collapsed. Oh, this, that. Because you hear 90 billion naira has been earmarked for a project, and eventually they spend 5 billion because, of course, some people want to eat. They say, why would we spend all the money? But that's what's in the contract, for all of the projects that for whatever it is you're going to do with that money, it's meant for that project and for you to give us, a standard one. But eventually, you see that they just keep cutting these funds till they try to manage things around. Well, thank God, recently there's this, committee that has been set up by the presidency to see that whatever project is going to take place in any part of the country, there are also people who are monitoring their projects to see that, it is done by the exact specification. And now, imagine if at the time this ICC was built, some people decided, to give us something substandard. It won't have been, standing today that the Minister of FCT decided, to refurbish and rehabilitate and bring it back to its, its past, its normal glory. And that's one thing we should consider moving forward. Our leaders should not think of today, because if you are saying, okay, we've built this, we've done this for you, would it stand the test of time? It's not just about building projects. It's about giving us something that would last. This story is on Daily Trust. Moving ahead, a sad one this morning in Plateau community. 96 houses burnt in communities in the last, I think, how many months now? 96 houses have been razed in Gwembase community in Langay district, Mangu local government area of Plateau State. Residents allege that the perpetrators looted food, mattresses, cattle, and other valuables. Alhaji Yakubu Umar, traditional ruler, and Maidugun Langai disclosed these to Daily Trust on Tuesday in Jos. According to Umar, apart from the 2 persons killed on Monday, 1 more body was recovered on Tuesday, bringing the death toll to 3. The community accused the Berom ethnic group of launching the attack, which they denied. This story is on the Daily Trust. A sad one. Every day we just keep hearing, violent attacks, and it's just sometimes we can't bear to, suck in these reports. They are heart-wrenching. Why INEC is yet to conduct by-elections into 7 seats at the National Assembly, several months after the demise of some federal lawmakers in active service and the resignation of 2 legislators. The Independent National Electoral Commission is yet to conduct by-elections to fill the vacuum created. Some persons of the affected constituencies have cried out, citing failure of the Commission to guarantee them adequate representation and sense of belongings. How INEC has said that it's been hampered by funds. Speaking to Daily Trust, the Commission said it would act on the issue when funds are made available. So there are vacancies, and we know this is National Assembly. These lawmakers get to represent the constituents, and now the constituency, and now, these seats have been vacant for several months. Now INEC is saying they should have conducted by-election, but this is due to funds. How do we get to conduct election? We don't have the fund, to carry out the exercise. We are leaving some seats vacant. There is no representative of these people at the National Assembly. So how do they get to, how are their people getting help, especially whatever is coming from National Assembly? So for several months, no representation of any sort. Like these constituencies that their lawmakers have vacated the seats at the National Assembly either by their demise or resignation. June 12 protest, hardship, insecurity to protest against hardship, insecurity to hold in 20 states. Ahead of the June 12th Democracy Day, that's tomorrow, to gather. June 12 was adopted in 2018 by the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari as Nigeria's Democracy Day in honor of the winner of the June 12, 1993 election, Moshood Abiola. This year's commemoration marks 26 years of uninterrupted democratic rule in the country. The organizers said the protest is against hardship, insecurity, and a shrinking civic space under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Story is also on Daily Trust newspaper. And still on Daily Trust, Northeast experienced 4-day blackout. The Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) has notified electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, serving the 6 states in the Northeast, that there will be blackouts in the region, while some places will witness significant drop in the supply of electricity. A letter sent to one of the DISCOs and signed by TCN's Regional Operations Manager, Bauchi Region, Engineer Dale Joseph, said the reduction in supply is due to the erection of 330 kV turn-in and turn-out stars at the new Bauchi 330 kV substation transmission lines. The notice said the outage, which will start on June 10 and end on June 14, will affect the Jos Bauchi Gombe 132 kV line. The top stories. This is on Daily Trust. Nigerian Tribune. Fear grips residents over minor earth tremor in Oyo community. Fear grip residents of Igbeti in Olorunshogo local government area of Oyo State over a minor earth tremor that happened over the weekend in the area. The reported minor earth tremor caught the residents unaware as they scampered for safety. Most of the buildings in the area were shaken to their foundations, forcing the inhabitants to consider vacating them. But the state government has allayed their fears, assuring them the necessary steps have been taken to arrest the situation. The government had, in a statement by the Commissioner for Information, Prince Dr. Oyelade, disclosed that immediate evacuation of the situation has commenced. It therefore urged the residents to remain calm. According to the Commissioner, experts from the Oyo State Solid Mineral Development Agency under the Director General Biodun Wumi have been dispatched to the site. So now we do not know why this. Okay, I think I saw that video. The Betty community. There's this video trending online. It was, the earth tremor was caused by physical weathering. That video. I'm like, is this how rock gets you? You know, that's the breaking down of rocks. They call it weathering. And I'm like, you see, it's all cloudy up there, and then you just hear this huge noise. Say rocks are breaking into pieces and falling off. And of course, it caused tremor. Well, knowing what situation happened 2 years ago in Oyo State, in the Bodija area, where we have that mining issue that collapsed some houses and destroyed a lot of properties there. Well, people have seen this happen one time, even if it's not in the same location, but you have to fear for your life. But now that we even know the cause, at least it brings us it's a way to understand that this is not caused by human. This is a natural phenomenon, and we just have to find a place to hide. And at least we did not hear that maybe there were building collapse or people were affected by the natural I can't call it disaster here. It's just rocks saying we want to break ourselves into pieces. People move, and that. So we appreciate the fact that it did not cause any form of casualty. And this, they say, is caused by contraction leading to cracking, peeling, sheeting, resulting in minor tremors and rock movements as witnessed over the weekend. Maybe the rock wants to change position, saying, I've been here for a long time. Let's move. Thankfully, no one was hurt in that following that incident. 2027, Peter Obi seeks Nigerian support to dismantle APC government. The 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, on Tuesday continued his criticism of the All Progressives Congress-led federal government, rallying the support of Nigerians to dismantle it in 2027. Obi claimed that the government had so far failed to meet the expectations of Nigerians as killings, hunger, price inflation, poverty, naira devaluation, and unemployment remained a lot 2 years after the administration assumed office, promising to better their livelihoods. The former governor of Anambra State was speaking in Abuja at the public presentation of the book, Obi, the Political Change Agent, authored by seasoned journalist Ike Aboyi. Some more of that story is on Nigerian Tribune. Moving on, 2025, Sub-Saharan Africa's economy to grow by 3.7 in 2025, World Bank. The World Bank has projected that Sub-Saharan African economy growth is expected to edge up to 3.7% in 2025, an average of 4.2 in 2026 to 2027. The bank attributed the development to heightened trade tensions and policy uncertainty, which it said are expected to drive global growth down this year to its lowest pace since 2008, outside of outright global recessions. Story is on Nigerian Tribune. Photos: Pastor Deboye visit Alaafin Wade in Oyo. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, on Tuesday visited Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Bimbola Owade, at his palace in Oyo town. The visit was announced in a Facebook post by Ajishebi or Your Radio, which also shared photos from the meeting between the respected cleric and the monarch. The caption accompanying the post written in Yoruba stated, "Aláàfin for your Yoruba land. Ikú bàbá yèyé gba okay. Gbàlejò dádì bàbá jí o." This story is on Nigerian Tribune. They say we should give honor to whom honor is due. Is a spiritual leader. The Kabiyesi, Aláàfin of Ọ̀yọ́, is a traditional ruler. You know, sometimes when we separate these things, we get to understand it. Don't pay attention to busybodies. Continue your good work. Tinubu tells the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to remain focused on his mandate and not be distracted by critics. OLUWAFUNKE, speaking on Tuesday at the inauguration of rehabilitated and refurbished International Conference Center in Abuja, now renamed the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center. The president commended Wike's performance and described him as a visionary leader committed to transforming the capital. Now, at this point, Wike does not really have any issue with anybody in governance except for the crisis in the PDP. And Wike has continued to stand his ground, saying, well, him is backing Ayamu as the party's national scribe, that's the secretary, national secretary. And the party leaders are saying no, they don't want Ayamu. So this is a little background here. Ayamu decided to go contest for another position, leaving the seat vacant, and the seat was left to Ude Okoye. And when he returned, he wanted the seat back, but somebody was already occupying that position. And while there was this back and forth, there was a time they even went physical at the PDP national headquarters in Abuja. So we decided that if we cannot resolve this, and there was this Supreme Court judgment saying something, but people decided, to give meaning to it, saying, okay, Supreme Court sack around. Supreme Court said, whatever is in internal issues you have, we have, it's not in our jurisdiction to handle that. And moving forward, the PDP decided, okay, to let peace reign, let's look for an acting secretary. And they decided not to give the position to Ayamu or Ude Okoye. But some group in the PDP has continued. Some of them are supporting Ayamu, some are behind Ude Okoye, while we even have an acting secretary. But now Wike recently has come to say, with all the leaders, saying we are behind Ayamu. Ayamu is the national secretary of the People's Democratic Party. And I think it's one of the crises, really, rocking that party, aside some other concerns they have in the party, not coming together, to make, one. If you cannot even decide who is going to be your national secretary, that's one thing that's going to really continue to, pull the people in the party apart. And until now, Wike still saying, Ayamu is our, national scribe. And this is the only issue I know Wike has had in the party. And why he boldly supports, the government of President Bola Tinubu. Of course, he is the Federal Capital Minister, and he is he's holding a position under the ruling party. Why he belongs to another party, and he's saying he's not going to leave PDP. He has asked PDP to put their act together and then be more strong, let them form a kind of cohesion that will make PDP, not be easily broken. At this point, I'm not sure PDP is ready to, put things together in that party, and they are delaying things. 2027 is just around the corner. Even when Oti said, well, a lot of people are playing God, that they're already campaigning for something that's still in 2 years. But PDP should get their act together. Honestly, this is, becoming, something we don't want to watch. Like you see people, fight over what. This story is on Nigerian Tribune. Then I move away from Nigerian Tribune to other stories. Please stay with us. staying tuned. India Dangote workers arraigned for diverting 4 billion naira diesel. It's on the punch. An Indian citizen, Tuku Shamashudin, and 12 individuals on Tuesday arraigned by the operatives of the police special fraud unit Ikoyi Lagos for allegedly conspiring in unlawful diversion of automotive gas oil, commonly known as diesel, valued at over 4 billion naira property of Dangote Industries Limited. The defendants were brought before Justice Dende Dikolu of the Federal High Court alongside the Indian National. Stories on the Punch. Abuja Luxury Homes Operators Warriors EFCC accuses civil servant operators in the housing sector backed the declaration made by the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, OLUWAFUNKE, who said that most luxury homes in Abuja are owned by civil servants and not politicians. You can join the conversation this morning, 081-3237-1268, to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube at V95.3 FM, or send us a message on that same line, 081-3237-1268. How Mr. Chairman, sir, OLUWAFUNKE says, civil servants own some of these, luxury homes in Abuja, not politicians. So where the politicians, our National Assembly lawmakers and other politicians who often attend Federal Executive Council meeting and all of these meetings they attend, they have lodge. They all have lodge in Abuja. They don't sleep in hotels. Some of them have their personal lodge there. So are they renting it from these civil servants we claim owns these luxury homes? Like, sometimes when we make claims like this, let's let's be sure. In an interview with The Punch, the President Association of Housing Corporations of Nigeria, Banga, reacted that homeowners must be lawful and owned and void of corrupt practices. He said, first and foremost, this is an informed report based on investigation carried out by relevant agencies. According to the findings, there were 3 separate investigations of that nature, each supported by documentary evidence. Initially, there were claims that 33 billion naira was missing from the ministry, but after a thorough stating the facts as they are. So here, when we say even civil servants, there is level to these things. Some civil servants are in position of leadership. You can't say an average civil servant own a property, a luxury home, in Abuja, big cities. No, that's civil servants that are still fighting for 70,000 naira new minimum wage, and they are yet to get. Some are being paid. Some are still crying and hoping that this thing is rightly implemented so they can even earn their new minimum wage. So civil servants, those in these positions that at the top of the game, at the top of ministries, departments and agencies, let's separate, let's differentiate this. Not an ordinary civil servant owning a luxury home in Abuja. Power play. PDP convention caught in Wike Makinde Camp Crossfire. The battle for the soul of the People's Democratic Party has reportedly pitted the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde against the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike. The two political gladiators used to be good friends and played a key role in the victory of President Bola Tinubu in 2023, following their resolve to work against the PDP candidate Atiku Abubakar. The duo, alongside Ukeze Ikpeazu, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, and Sama Othom, then governors of Abia, Enugu, and Benue State, formed the G5 bloc and insisted on a Southern presidential ticket. Atiku, who comes from the north, claimed the PDP ticket at the National Convention. Things have since fallen apart, with Oyo State Governor, backed by his Bauchi counterpart, Enugu State Governor. They no longer enjoy a cordial political relationship with Wike. History, source on Daily Independent. No prayers can erase 6 million Igbo deaths. Group tells go on. Igbo women under the aegis of Igbo Women Assemblies berated the former Nigerian military head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, over his comments on the civil war, stating that no amount of his prayers would atone for the blood of over 6 million innocent Igbo children massacred during the needless civil crisis. Gowon had in a recent interview after he was honored with a Lifetime Integrity and Achievement Award at the 5th Convention of the Christian Men's Fellowship Abuja, Anglican Diocese, said his decision to prosecute the war was not born out of hatred, but by the urgency to preserve national unity. Stories on The Punch, the newspaper. Well, thank you for joining us in Newspaper Review this morning. Thank you, Emanuela Vicky, saying good morning from Moro. What does that mean? Morocco or where? Moro. Thank you for joining us this morning. Do well, to stay tuned to Vicinity 95.3 FM. So our crew will be coming right ahead. I am OLUWAFUNKE Israel, executive producer. Is Yadesh Salami. And thanks to Kabir, the technical crew, for making this a smooth ride. Join us again on the morning show this morning from 9:20 to 10 o'clock. Until then, you go out there and win today.
We are your connection to the sounds that surround you.
Hit music belongs here.
I got the keys to the city.
This is Vicinity FM 95.3. We are your connection to the sounds that surround you. The radio just got excited.
This is
Vicinity FM 95.3.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema